The European Fall Regional was played this past weekend, and once again, BDS are finished. My name is Anton and you're watching This Week on Rocket League. This is of course the series where we take a look at all the crazy and stupid things that this game has had to offer during the past 7 days, and somehow, this game never fails to surprise me. That was an awful pass from you. Don't blame your teammates when you're just bad. But now let's check out what's been happening this week. The RLCS 2022-23 season has now begun in Europe, Oceania, South America and Sub-Saharan Africa, as their first fall regionals were played this past weekend. Let's start with Europe, where Mark Goldbridge announced the signing of Goldbridge Ball onto F1 driver Lando Norris's team Quadrant. Really? All you had to do was change your name? For any unsigned team out there, just change your name to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the next thing you know is Kylian Mbappe announcing your signing to PSG. But for real, really cool to see them come to Rocket League finally. Moving on to the actual tournament, Endpoint returned back with a completely new roster after getting destroyed at the World Championships this summer.
Rounding your feet, you can't miss.
That was
you can't miss
golden
this.
Opportunity.
He's bloody missed it! What a prat! What a prat!
That's the wrong team, Mark.
I can't believe this. Oh, written in the stars or what?
Okay. Anyway, Endpoint were back to regain their glory from last season. Well, you had fun, and that's all that matters. A team with a lot of interest surrounding them was Solary, with their new roster consisting of Fairy Peak, K-Dop, and Chaussette. The full French roster with 2 World Championships, then lost 3 Game 5s and didn't qualify for the playoffs. Moist and BDS topped the table, both going 3-0. BDS though had some significant problems, as they went to Game 5 in all of their series in the qualifiers last week, and now in every single series in the Swiss stage. Jorius Oli and Archie's new team Oxygen looked dominant, only narrowly losing to Augiri in the first round. Latira's new team Carmine Corp looked great straight off the bat, only losing to BDS, and pulling almost as many views as the RLCS stream on Twitch. Quadrant squeezed into the playoffs barely after winning 2 Game 5s in a row against Solary and Augiri, and Gamers First claimed one of the last spots in the playoffs, with their new team consisting of Mark by 8, Pringles, and the guy who was so desperate to be better than G2 Atomic that he changed his name to G1 Atomic. Moving on to the playoffs, the first round saw Moist and Team Liquid face off in the first COM Classic, El Splashico of the season, with Moist taking the series 4-2. Carmine Corp then beat Tundra, and Oxygen beat G1 after spending almost 10 minutes in overtime. It then came time for the defending world champs to face off against the newly formed Quadrant. So far BDS had won by going to Game 5 in every single series, so this time they decided to try something else, and lost in Game 7 after this OT goal from Cash.
And another one comes out for Relating Wave. Solo plays. Attempted for Quadrant. They need a good 50-50. And Cash is able to end it in the OT. Send it to the bank!
All that just to be drawn like this. What is that? A shocking exit for the current world champions. I mean, they had low points last season as well, and in the end it didn't matter, but some idiot would probably say that they are now finished. Moving on to the semifinals, where Vatira faced his old team Moist, and Carmine Corp kinda destroyed them, like it wasn't even close. Exit Rapid must have been punching the air in his room at that point. Well, at least he made it to the regional. Carmine Corp then posted this after the win. In other news, Moist Esports has now disbanded. In the other semi-final, Oxygen gave Quadrant a piece of the humble pie and absolutely destroyed them in 4 games, which leads us to the finals, where Carmine Corp took a solid 2-1 lead against Oxygen in the first 3 games, and then just lost. Did they forget how to play mid-series? Over in Oceania, it was the first regional without Renegades, as Ground Zero and Pioneers won 3-0 to top the table in the Swiss stage. Team Power were upset in the first round of the playoffs, as placeholders beat them in Game 7. The Lake Show also surprised everyone, as they made it all the way to the Grand Finals after beating Ground Zero in the semifinals. They then got absolutely shafted by Pioneers, who took home their first regional win of the season. Over in South America, Team Secret and the club took the top of the table in the Swiss stage, while True Neutral made the comeback of the century by placing 11th. Endgame upset Team Secret in the semifinals to move on to the finals, where they then got absolutely wrecked by the club. Over in Sub-Saharan Africa, the regional was won by May Contain Nuts. Ladies and gentlemen, the best team in Africa. But moving on to the regionals happening this weekend. The North American Fall Cup will be featuring these teams, with FaZe looking to defend their championship, Chinchi to defend their EU pride, and NRG to just learn how to defend. Speaking of NRG, Garrett and Justin are now the longest standing duo in Rocket League Esports history. Someone who is no longer standing at NRG, however, is their coach Sizz. Too soon. After almost 3 years, NRG have decided to release Sizz after a subpar ending to last season, as well as a start to this season. Someone should tell him that though. He came out with a video on YouTube on Saturday explaining why he got kicked. Basically, there was nothing wrong with his coaching. The players just wanted a change since they hadn't been performing that well. It was nothing personal, they just needed to make some sort of a change. He said he wants to focus more on content, so best of luck to him in that. Over in Middle East and North Africa, also known as Saudi Arabia and two dudes from Kuwait, these are the teams competing in the Fall Cup this week, with Falcons looking to make a comeback after failing to secure the dub last regional. And last but not least, we have Asia Pacific with these teams. And now some miscellaneous esports news. Despite being released from the on-air talent roster for RLCS, Gregan hasn't given up his passion for broadcasting Pro Rocket League. Not being on the main livestream has made his job a bit difficult, however.
So, Oxygen, what is it about you guys that you think makes you better than every other team in Europe and maybe in the rest of the world? And how are you going to keep working on that throughout the rest of the season?
Well, after we went 2-0, we said they're definitely going to try to be more aggressive, ball chase a bit more. So what we did, we went passive when we wanted to go aggressive still. We wanted to keep the pressure we had in games 1 and 2. That's the third and fourth game we sat back. They scored goals. Then game 5 and 6, we was like, all right, we just have to play aggressive again, and then we won the last 2 games.
You can answer your own question. Sure.
In the qualifiers for this week's North American Fall Cup, Rogue Gyro scored this backboard psycho against Phoenix.
Fortunately able to get back to it. Gets the second touch! Gyro! What is this?
See, freestylers? He can do it. Apparently Jack has had a wild time after moving to Canada to play in NA, and this week he accidentally went live as he was filming an ad sponsorship.
I'm joining to help get the top performing players in here through GC. I'm here to help. I'm joining to help get the top performing players. I'm joining to. I'm joining.
Personally, I've never had this issue, and we're back with keeping up with the Vitalities. Last week, Team Vitality released this, well, I'd like to call it a crime against humanity. This week, however, Vitality's owner Fabian David came out with a statement on Twitter saying they've heard the feedback and actually want to include the fans in the designing process for the next decal. Imagine your decal being so bad you have to come out with a public apology. But now it's time for Clip of the Week, sponsored by RL Exchange. Each week you guys submit your clips to the AntonTheKicker Discord. The top 5 are then voted on by the members, and thanks to today's sponsor RL Exchange, the price is 2,000 credits. So if you want to submit your own clips or influence who makes the top 5 for one of these videos, you can do so on my Discord server, link in the description. But before we reveal the top 5, let's look at some honorable mentions. Poker Ninja scored this ceiling double tap in training.
Ooh!
SneakyNarNar made this pass to himself in a rumble match. Ricky D scored this musty double tap in a 1v1. And Gheist scored this double tap in a 1v1 match. But now it's time to reveal the top 5. Like mentioned before, these were voted by the Discord members. This was Ricky D's first wave dash flick in a proper game. Zinto scored this ceiling double tap in a champ 2v2 lobby. Umi scored this sick wall redirect in a 3v3 match. Jay winking smiley face got this ceiling triple tap in a 2v2 match. And last but not least, rablox got this team pinch save with his teammate in a 2v2 match. And that's the top 5. As always, there will be a YouTube poll on the channel, and thanks to today's sponsor RL Exchange, the price is 2,000 credits. RL Exchange is a great place to get cheap Rocket League items with fast delivery, with 95% of items delivered within 24 hours. They have a great reputation with a 4.9 rating on Trustpilot with over 7,200 excellent reviews. And if you don't want to spend your money, they have daily giveaways and a section where you can complete tasks to get free items as well. But if you do end up spending money, you can use the code Anton at checkout to get a 3% discount on your order. It's a great way to save money, and doing it would really help out the channel as well. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I know the lighting is terrible. Semi-professional YouTuber right here. But we're back with the outro. You already know what's going on. We're gonna look at a country, and this time we have a comment from Simon Miller, who's also a channel member. He wants me to do Puerto Rico because his grandpa is from there. And I like when you have these stories behind these places. I mean, you could just make it up, but I'm not gonna fact check you. And currently we have 25.4 thousand subscribers, which in Puerto Rico it would be about the same as Anasco. No, it's Añasco, right? I don't know. But I also saw a different comment as well from Jacob Rochester, and he told me to do Greece because because Harry Maguire went to prison there. So let's do Greece. So if I was a Greece city, if I was a city in Greece, I would be Moshchato. Definitely pronounced that right. But anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, remember to like, subscribe, comment, share. As always, become a channel member. We've got cool emojis. Look at those emojis. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'll see you guys later. Bye.